In a valley between the Baobab Hills and the singing river of Ngoma, there lived a village where drums spoke, winds whispered, and the trees remembered. This was the land of the ancients, where stories were older than stones, and even the unborn had spirits that roamed in dreams. One such spirit belonged to Kunda, a little goat not yet born but already full of life and questions. Kunda floated inside his mother, warm and tucked away from the sun, but his mind was already restless. Unlike the other unborn ones who slept soundly in the soft silence of the womb, Kunda was awake. He kicked, he listened, he dreamed of the world outside, of grass between his teeth, of rain on his horns, of dancing under thunderclouds with other goats. But something strange began to happen. Time moved, but Kunda did not. His mother grew heavier, the moon circled the skies, and yet Kunda stayed inside. He tried to twist, to nudge, to signal the time had come, but the gates of life remained shut. Each night he whispered into the silence, "I want to be born, please, I want to be born." And one night, the silence answered. A deep hum rose from the earth, and suddenly, Kunda found himself in a place that was not quite the womb and not quite the world. A spirit realm between life and birth. It looked like a great savanna made of light and fog, where ancestral voices floated like fireflies, and shadows of animals walked backward in the sky. Before him stood a being cloaked in wind, tall, thin, and with eyes like the moon reflected in water. She was Mama Nomusa, the mother of coming beings, the keeper of the threshold. "Kunda," she said, her voice like river stones rolling, "why do you struggle so?" "I want to be born," he said again, his voice small but clear. "Many want, few are ready," she replied. "Birth is not just an act, it is a journey, a path you must clear not just for your body but for your soul." "Then show me the path," Kunda said without fear. Mama Nomusa raised her hand, and the ground beneath him trembled. From the mist rose three shapes, ancient challenges known only to unborn spirits who seek the world before the time is right. First came the drum of doubt, a great red drum that beat itself with no hands, its rhythm like a heart losing courage. From its sound came voices, soft, tempting, poisonous. "Stay inside. It's warm. It's safe. Out there you will fall. They will laugh. You are too small to matter." Kunda felt the doubt crawl into his thoughts like vines wrapping around his horns. He sat still, trembling. But then he remembered a sound, the laughter of children in the village, the bleating of goats on the hill, the call of the rainbird. He took a deep breath and sang. He sang a song he didn't know he knew, a song of birth, of hooves on earth, of spring rains and freedom. The drum of doubt fell silent and cracked down the middle. Then came the river of regret, swirling silver and fast. In it swam memories not yet lived, of falls, of loneliness, of mistakes Kunda might make in the world ahead. He stood at the bank, afraid. What if they were true? Then he noticed a tiny frog sitting on a reed in the middle of the river. It smiled and said, "Leap anyway." Kunda laughed, leapt in and swam. He kicked through every wave of fear until he emerged soaked but stronger. Mama Nomusa nodded. "You are learning." Finally came the wall of waiting, towering high with no cracks, no door, no rope. It whispered nothing. It simply was. Kunda tried to climb. He failed. He jumped. He fell. Days passed. Or was it lifetimes? He began to cry, not out of weakness, but because he felt alone. That's when he heard a soft braying, the sound of a donkey beyond the wall. "Who's there?" Kunda called. The donkey's voice was old and kind, with a rhythm like lullabies. "I am Tembo, the donkey of forgotten roads. I walk paths no one else remembers. I heard your crying in the wind. Can you help me?" Kunda asked. "I can't break the wall for you," said Tembo, "but I can believe in you." And with that, Tembo leaned against the wall on one side while Kunda pressed from the other. Together, they pushed. At first, nothing happened. Then a small crack. Then another. Until at last, the wall crumbled into dust, and light poured through like honey from a calabash. Kunda gasped as the real world rushed toward him. Sounds, smells, cold air. He was being born. Back in the village, under a bright morning sun, the goat herder's wife cried out, "He's coming!" Kunda emerged, tiny and wet, into the hands of life. He opened his eyes and saw trees, sky, other goats, and beyond the fence, far down the hill, standing still under a baobab tree, was Tembo the donkey, watching with soft eyes, then turning slowly to walk away. Kunda tried to call out, but only a weak bleat came from his throat. It was enough. The donkey paused, looked back once, and nodded. In the weeks that followed, Kunda grew fast and curious. He was the goat that climbed the rock's highest, that helped the lamb who limped, who shared his food with a hungry bird. The village children loved him and tied beads in his little beard. He would often walk to the baobab tree and sit, waiting, listening, wondering if Tembo would return. He didn't, not in body. But sometimes, when the wind was just right and the drums of the village were silent, Kunda could hear the sound of hooves on forgotten roads. He would lift his ears and smile. And so, in the land between baobab hills and the singing river, the story of the goat who wanted to be born and the donkey who believed in him was told around fires, under stars, and through the generations. Because sometimes, in the oldest stories, it is not the strong who save the day, not the fastest, not the loudest, but the patient, humble, and kind, like a donkey who hears the cry of the unborn and chooses to answer.